Welcome to the NASCAR Beat, the official podcast of NASCAR. Today, we look ahead to the action at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Hello and welcome back to another edition of the NASCAR Beat. I'm your host, Josh Hamilton, and today is a preview edition. We'll be looking ahead to this weekend's racing action at Atlanta Motor Speedway. For those that are familiar with the podcast, you know that we have three segments. We do the preview here, talk to Brett Bodine and get analysis there, and then we end with the Fantasy Fix with Mike Ford. Unfortunately, we don't have the Fantasy Fix this weekend. Ford was unable to come through. He's up in Atlanta getting ready for the race, so we'll have to forge on without him. We'll be fine. He'll be back next week. But let's look at the two races. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series is in action Saturday afternoon, the Easy Go 200. Kyle Busch is the defending winner and pole sitter, won from the pole last year in this race. It's Saturday afternoon. Sunday afternoon, Cobalt Tools 500 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series racing. Defending race winner Kurt Busch, if you remember last year, Busch winning the race and then going around the entire 1.5 mile track in reverse, what he later called the unwind lap, his new winning tradition. Mark Martin was a pole sitter last year. Let's look at a little history at Atlanta Motor Speedway. First race there was July 31st, 1960, won by Fireball Roberts from the pole. There have been 101 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series races at Atlanta, and of those 101, 14 have been won by the pole. Fireball was the first to do it. The last to do it, Casey Kane, in 2006. Last year, interestingly enough, both races were won from the second starting position. The track started as a 1.5 mile paved speedway. Spring of 1970 was remeasured to 1.522. 1997, the track layout was reversed. The track was reconfigured to a 1.54 mile speedway, and that was done between the two races in 1997. For those that remember, when we say the track was reversed, the old front stretch is now the back stretch, and the old back stretch is now the front stretch. Pretty basic. Atlanta's a very fast track. High bank, 24 degrees of banking in the corners, 5 degrees on the straightaways. We're going to talk to Brett Bodine a little bit later about the intricacies of the track, some specifics about the surface, the tire wear, comparing it to Las Vegas. So we'll get that insight in just a little bit. There have been 44 different drivers that have a pole at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Ryan Newman and Buddy Baker are tied with 7 each. And it's interesting, actually, Buddy Baker helped mentor Ryan Newman, kind of took him under his wing a little bit, and so he is responsible for Newman tying that record. 6 of Newman's 7 poles came in consecutive races between March 2003, October 2005. His other pole was in March of 2007, and Newman talks about being okay with tying that record with Buddy Baker.
Well, I think Buddy Baker is one of the 50 greatest NASCAR drivers in the history of our sport. So if there was ever a record that I could beat him or even tie him in, that would be, a big reward mentally for me. So, having the opportunity this week with a car that we ran in California, actually, which I feel is a very good car, to go there and have the opportunity to have that, to break that tie and to stand alone in that record is pretty cool. If I live out the rest of my career tied with Buddy Baker, I'm still fine with that, but obviously I'd like to beat it too.
Now, unfortunately, the problem for Newman is that despite starting well, he doesn't really finish well at the track. He's had 16 starts, only 1 top 5 finish, only 5 top 10 finishes. He finished 9th in the last race there, Labor Day weekend last year, finished 22nd in this race last year. His top 5 came March 2004. He finished 5th. That was starting from the pole. He actually opened his career, his first 3 races at Atlanta, finishing 10th exactly. So pretty interesting there, but it's been a tough go for Newman at the track. If you look back at his previous finishes, 22nd and 9th last year, 14th, 16th in 08, 23rd, 37th in 07, 18th, 30th in 06. So very disappointing there, and his driver rating is only 71.2 in Atlanta, which actually makes it his 5th worst track